Estheimer, if you will please rise for the pledge and remain standing for the invocation. Reverend Crothers.
Let's pray. In a long past day of turmoil, trouble, and tragedy, the psalmist called for us to pray for the peace of Jerusalem. Today is such a day of troubles. Young Americans come home to their weeping families and flag-draped coffins. I pray for the peace of this land. It is a day of turmoil in our nation's economy. We worry about our savings. We worry about the prices we pay. We see beggars on the corner and wonder which ones are genuine and which ones are not. We see our nation's leaders and wonder which ones remember that they are the people's servants. Gathering in rooms like this, from the nation's capital to the smallest little village, they meet to make decisions for the people they serve. Yet in the midst of the bad times, Lord, you have blessed this nation with bounty after bounty after bounty. Lord, we come today reminding ourselves that we are all men and women of the flesh. Sadly, some are weak, but thank God most are not. Today I pray not for the many, but for the few. As the family of Ella Geis grieves the loss of this young lady who was taken from this life way too soon, we pray for them and we grieve with them. Protect our peacekeepers. Keep them safe on their rounds. Guide the hands of our firefighters as they prepare their equipment, as they make their runs. Strengthen our public workers and the tasks that they do, for sometimes they are dangerous. Give wisdom and courage to this council as it does their work. I ask these things in the name of our Lord and our Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much. Mike, if you'll please call the roll.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Councilman Wurzbacher.
Here.
Councilman Lloyd.
Here.
Councilman Schlack.
Present.
Councilman Barr.
Here.
Councilman Valerius.
Here.
Councilwoman Nick.
Here.
Treasurer Estheimer.
Present.
And Mayor McLeod.
Here.
We have a quorum, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. May I have a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Schlack.
Second.
Second by Mr. Valerius. Any changes? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the agenda is approved. May I have a motion to approve the minutes from the meeting of February 24th?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Barr.
Second.
Go ahead. Second by Ms. Nick. Any corrections? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the minutes are approved. Before we move on to organizational business, I would like to make a little statement. As Reverend Crothers mentioned, many of you may know that Senator Geis's daughter recently passed away. Ella Miriam Frances Geis passed away on February 25 at the age of 16 from a rare form of cancer, which she battled for the past 3.5 years. No parents should have to lose a child, no matter their age, but even more so when it is someone so young. A friend of the family reached out to me and asked about the possibility of a proclamation for Ella. A proclamation did not seem fitting for such a heartbreaking and solemn occurrence, and neither did a recognition statement. However, I did want to say something about Ella, to not only acknowledge the Geis family's loss, but to also make everyone aware of what she achieved during her lifetime and the impact she had on others. I will not read it to you, but I encourage everyone to visit the Varan Funeral Home's website to read this young woman's full obituary, to fully appreciate who she was and what she might have become had her life not been cut so short. Please keep the Geis family and all of Ella's friends and relatives in your thoughts and prayers, and pray that their memories of her sustain them throughout the years. Thank you. And now we will move on to organizational business and fun comments from our treasurer.
Well, thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm just here to remind everybody that all delinquent taxes have been transferred to the county, and we have began our settlement process with the county. Any homeowner that still owes any delinquent property taxes now must pay at the Wayne County building. we can no longer take payment here at the city. Other than that, we'll spend the next few months collecting personal property taxes from our business owners. And then we just start the process over again. We're going to get back into the summer tax collection here, but we'll have a couple months to focus on that personal property. And other than that, that's all I have tonight.
Thank you. Mr. Murray.
Good evening. I'd like to thank the DDA for the help in funding the downtown plaza. Sergeant Richard Hamilton is completing his fire instructor certification. Once he completes and passes this program, he will need to put in 12 teaching hours. He will do his student teaching at the Wayne County Community College Fire Academy. After he completes this, he'll be able to actually be an instructor and help teach future firefighters. Deputy Clerk Angela Lovelock will be at the 2026 Clerks Institute in Mount Pleasant next week. This is the first year of a 3-year course in order to receive her clerk certification. The Ellen Park Library is delivering their first collection of food donations to the Honeycomb Food Pantry located inside the Ellen Park Presbyterian Church. The DDA will be doing more musical concerts this year from May to October that will include curated vendors and family-friendly activities. These events will take place from 4 to 9 p.m. on the first and third Thursdays of every month. Compost pickup and street sweeping begins the week of April 6th. Leaves, grass, clippings, and yard waste must be in cans that clearly say compost or in paper bag, compost bags only. Compost stickers are also available at the city offices. 129 kids have registered so far for the Neighborhood Forest Giving Trees to Children program. Registration ends March 15th. That can be registered at the Allen Park Public Library. The Allen Park Historical Museum will be having a grand opening celebrating the newly renovated museum. More information will be posted soon. Look for that. We would like to recognize the following March employment milestones. Chris Esterhold, DPS mechanic, has 5 years this month. And Michael O'Loughlin, DPS Deputy Director, has his 20 years last week. Thank you.
Thank you. May I have a motion to approve and file the city administrator's operation? That was Mr. Wurtzbacher and Ms. Nick. Any questions? Having a blip here. Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion is carried. We now come to public comments. You may come up and speak for 5 minutes. All we ask is that you provide your name and the street on which you live. Do not provide your entire address. And the only other thing we ask is that you keep your comments civil.
Hi, I'm Walter. I'm a local realtor. I just came to give a market update. Felt like there was something to do. In Allen Park, we've sold roughly 74 homes have been on the market. 47 of them are sold, 18 are active, 9 are pending. We have a medium days on market of 17 days and an average sales to list ratio of 98 cents on the dollar. So houses are moving pretty quickly in about 2 weeks, and people are getting good deals being able to sell it. The median home sale price is $215,000 with a median of $132 per square foot. And with just closing, that's a strong market in Allen Park, and that's all since January 1st. That's all.
Thank you.
Steve Atanosowski, 52-year resident, Hanover Avenue. I have a property next to me for 15 years that's been blighted. If you guys remember, this gentleman scared my wife. Every night I would go to work as an armed security, she would have to worry about this guy living next door to me. We called about him. We got laughed at. The last 4 years, the new owners owned it. It's been horrible. He claims it's a rental. It's been empty and blighted. We've called once a week and gotten no response. You know I've talked to you. Nancy I've talked to. And the guy's called my work and said I'm a racist and pulled a gun on him. He's tried to attack me because we're calling about the blight. The last 2 weeks, the rats and mice from this property have been coming like crazy. There's an alley behind it and no one knows who owns it. We've been fighting about it. This has been a problem. It's gonna affect me here soon because the guy's tried to attack me. He's called my job and said I'm a racist and I pulled a gun on him, but didn't say that to the cops. And now the cops are coming after me. Officer Bundy one night roguely came after me and my roommate at our house without his supervisors knowing. Why are we getting put down for caring about the blight next to us? For 15 years, the last 4 that this guy's owned it, we've called once a week. And no response, nothing. The ordinance guy says, yes, he knows about it. He put a lady in there that was unfit to be living there. She had to be removed. She came back 3 times to try and break in. But they're coming after us. They've told all my neighbors to shut up and stop supporting me. 2 of my neighbors have died since and said, Steve, I don't want the neighborhood going to hell when we're gone. Bill Herrera, Mr. and Mrs. Bird, their dying wishes to not let the neighborhood go to blight. And we have. For 15 years, I've got no help. My wife died of COVID 6 years ago to this day in March. She was scared of this guy. And I'm scared of the guy now that's there right now when I left for this city council meeting. He's standing outside. I don't have money. My family are all old and passing away soon. I could have sold my house years ago and profited a lot. But I didn't. I stood for my family, my aunts and uncles, my nephews and nieces. And I'm sick and tired of this. I need help.
No one else is coming forward. We will close the public comment segment and move on to the consent agenda. Tonight's consent agenda consists of purchasing actions, claims and accounts in the payroll report, and 2 licenses and permits, 1 for curbside pickup by Bri-anna Regnier and 1 for curbside pickup by Homorogan. Motion, please. Motion by Mr. Lloyd. Second by Mr. Barr. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion is carried. We'll now move on to resolutions. Resolution 1 is to approve the MDOT performance resolution for municipalities and authorize the DPS Director Aaron Filipski and Deputy Director Michael O'Loughlin to apply for related permits on behalf of the City of Allen Park and further authorize the City Clerk to provide the required certification. Motion, please.
Motion.
Motion by Ms. Nick, second by Mr. Valerius. Mr. Filipski.
Good evening. This request before you is, as it noted, for MDOT, Michigan Department of Transportation permits that we pull annually and from time to time for special events. It's getting approval for the terms of that, which was attached to the agenda item, and naming Michael O'Loughlin and myself as the authorized to pull the permits. I have to answer any questions on that one.
Does anyone have any questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, resolution is approved. Resolution 2 is to approve the revised approved tree species list dated March 2026 for the City of Allen Park. Motion, please.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Valerius, second by Mr. Barr. Mr. Filipski.
So this updates our tree list. It narrows it down quite a bit for what we would approve if homeowners came to us and wanted to plant a tree in the easement. We're willing to consider other options at the time of application for the permit if there's something that somebody wants beyond that. So this is just a periodic update. The other thing I just wanted, since I have your attention about trees, just to inform that we're going to be in this next budget asking for some money so that we can sort of subsidize the cost of it instead of asking homeowners to plant trees. Have some city funds go to that so that we can remove cost as a barrier to that. And if that passes, with any luck, in the fall, we can begin a tree planting program that would count 75 to 100 trees a year would be a good goal, I think, for us.
Does anyone have any questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is approved. Thank you.
Thank you.
Move on to Resolution 3 is to approve the engagement letter dated February 26, 2026, from City Auditors Plant Moran for a 3-year audit period of 2026, 2027, and 2028. Motion, please.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Schlack, second by Mr. Wurzbacher.
Good evening,
Mr.
Mayor.
Lott.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This is an engagement letter with our city auditors, Plant Moran. Joe and I were talking today, getting some more information on that, and this is just a single, there is no, even though it's a 3-year engagement letter, we're only bound 1 year at a time for that, and this just sets the fees for those 3 years.
And through the chair, just
Yes.
to reiterate Mr. Murray's comment during the work session before the meeting. He did stipulate that the new mayor and council also have the option, if they so choose, to not utilize Plant Moran as the city auditors, correct?
Correct.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Through the chair.
Yes.
Yeah, is there any difference in the February 26 memo versus?
We're talking about approve the engagement letter, and it should say dated March 10th, 2026.
Who made the motion on that?
That was Mr. Schlack and Mr. Wurzbacher.
Are you good? You understand the letter has been updated?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for catching that, Mike. Any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is approved.
Thank you.
Resolution 4 is to approve the Festivities Commission's request to grant funds to the Allen Park Historical Commission for their grand opening ceremony. And while it's not included in the resolution, the amount that they have approved is to grant the Historical Commission not more than $8,800 to fund the event. May I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Motion by Ms.
Second.
Nick, second by Mr. Barr. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The resolution is approved. Resolution 5, to grant or deny the special regulated use for an event space in the existing one-story commercial property adjacent to Major Tomato located at 6547-6543 Allen Road. Motion.
Motion, Mayor.
Motion by Mr. Lloyd.
Second.
Second by Mr. Wurzbacher. Mr. Baker.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Good
So I want to
evening.
know if Mr. Lagins is here, and it was postponed last meeting due to some issues he had to square away with the Health Department. He has since done that. He's still, and he can maybe answer this because it's been a couple days since I talked to him with the other issue as far as the Liquor Commission control. So he's fulfilled all the requirements from the building department, and that's why I put it before you again today. So once again, this is an event space next to Major Tomato, and we're looking for your approval. But if you have any questions, Mr. Laginus is here to help you out.
If I could add one thing. When I read these types of resolutions, it says to grant/deny. And in fact, the planner's letter says, the city council is asked to consider the planning commission's recommendation to grant regulated use approval, also referred to as special use approval, for an event space proposed in an existing one-story commercial building at the property above. So it would be clear, when I was asking for a motion and a second, I was asking for a motion and a second to approve. Is that
To
acceptable?
grant, and I
To
would call
grant.
that before, but I was taught never be presumptive, so.
My motion was to grant.
Your motion was to grant, and Mr. Wurzbacher?
Motion to grant.
Motion to grant, thank you. Does anyone have any questions of Mr. Baker or Mr. Lajeunesse?
Were you able to get your liquor license?
We had the liquor license for Major Tomato already.
Would you, you need to speak into, yeah.
So I had to submit forms for expanding our space, which was done. We finally got approval for that, but they did ask for a letter of proof of financial responsibility, which was sent to them by my insurance company, and they rejected it because it didn't have both addresses on there. So it's making another round and should be taken care of in the next day or two. And then we do have to have the enforcement division come out to verify the seating capacity number that we got from the fire department. And that, I haven't gotten that word yet, but I did formally request it, so it should be any day.
And that's like in our packet, it says, there's 3 different things, standing, was it standing, and then seated, like a theater style, and then also seated for like round tables.
Yes.
They were different, okay,
Yep.
okay.
That's regarding occupancy load.
Any other questions? Hearing now, call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We now come to the third reading and public hearing for proposed ordinance number 1-2026. May I have a motion? Motion by Mr. Valerius.
Second.
Second by Mr. Lloyd. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We will have the third reading, and then we will open for public hearing.
Turn it on. Thank you. Proposed ordinance 01-2026, an ordinance of City of Allen Park, Code of Ordinances, amending Chapter 16, Environment, by the repeal and readoption of Section 16-119, definitions, and Section 16-121, prohibition of Article 4, noxious weeds, grass, and refuse, to define terms and regulate plants, including the regulation of plants or structures in front yards which exceed 12 inches on land which is located between a sidewalk and a street or within 36 inches from an adjacent sidewalk or property line.
Thank you. We will now open the meeting for a public hearing. If anyone wishes to come up and speak about this ordinance, they may do so at this time. Again, just provide your name and the street on which you live, and you are limited to 5 minutes. Since no one is coming forward, we will close the public hearing portion, and we will move on to the adoption of ordinance number 1-2026. May I have a motion, please? Motion by Mr. Valerius.
Second.
Second by Mr. Barr. We'll take a roll call vote, please.
All right, Madam Mayor, I have a motion by Councilman Valerius, supported by Councilman Barr, to adopt ordinance 1-2026, an ordinance of the City of Allen Park Code of Ordinances amending Chapter 16 Environment by the repeal and readoption of Section 16-119 definitions and Section 16-121 prohibition of Article 4 noxious weeds, grass, and refuse, to define terms and regulate plants, including the regulation of plants or structures in front yards which exceeds 12 inches on land which is located between a sidewalk and a street or within 36 inches from an adjacent sidewalk, driveway, or property line. Shall this ordinance pass? Councilman Barr.
Yes.
Councilwoman Nick.
Yes.
Councilman Lloyd.
Yes.
Mayor McLeod.
Yes.
Councilman Schlatt.
Yes.
Councilman Valerius.
Yes.
And Councilman Wurzbacher.
Yes.
The yeses have it. This ordinance shall be declared adopted, and it will be published in a manner prescribed by law.
Thank you. We'll now move on to our closing comments, and we will start with Mr. Estheimer.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to also offer my condolences to the Geis family, Senator Geis and her family, for the passing of Ella. And just give your kids a squeeze tonight, that's for sure. That's terrible, 16 years old. God bless, good night.
Thank you. Mr. Mizzi.
My condolences to them, but also to the Bodell family. They lost their brother, Tim, and he was a well-known, involved in Allen Park sports. His father was involved in the city, his brother, so unfortunately, this must be the time. The Lord needs souls, so thank you all for coming out. God bless you and good night.
Thank you, Mike. Ms. Nick?
I knew Tim Bodell. I didn't know he passed. So my condolences also go out to the Bodell family. So on a lighter note, I'd like to congratulate the Allen Park High School competitive cheerleaders. They won third year in a row for the MHSAA Division II competitive cheer state champions. They beat out Gibraltar, or Carlson rather, Gibraltar Carlson, just by a 0.32%. But overall, the girls have won 7 state championships in total. So I'd like to commend them and their coach, Julie Goodwin. And somebody put it on Facebook, and I watched all 3 rounds that they did, and it was just unbelievable and amazing how they all stayed in sync. I couldn't believe it. It was just like one constant movement. So I was amazed. So thank you for your accomplishment, and congratulations. And then on March 8th, on Sunday, it was International Women's Day of Detroit, and Detroit Wheels celebrated somebody from our hometown, which was Aunt Carlini. In fact, I graduated with her back in '78, and she started talking with our morning announcements in high school. I don't know if they still do the morning announcements. They do? Okay. So I remember that very vividly. And then from there, she went to Specs Howard, and then she went to the radio station WLLZ. For about 30 plus years, she stayed there and became a very familiar voice in Detroit's rock radio. From there, she went to Traverse City just for about a year, and then she came back to WLLZ for the morning show host. And they were saying that Ann was very well known for her warm personality and extensive knowledge of rock music. So congratulations, Ann, on that. And then, so the Allen Park High School art teacher, if anybody has metal coffee cans, they need about 30 more. If you can drop them off right in front of the school, she said there's a gray cupboard, and you can drop them off right there. And then next Tuesday is St. Patrick's Day, so everybody be careful, have fun, but if you need a ride home, please ask somebody to give you a ride. And then the last thing I wanted to say, and this is about the data center, and I just want to let residents know, because I know all weekend I was getting phone calls and people asking. It is in front of the planning, and they are doing their due diligence and investigating and looking at everything. And I want to thank Dan Lloyd, who sits on planning, for all his research and answering all the residents' questions, and for his motion that he brought up that passed. And so it'll go on to the next month's. And I've been at all the meetings. The last planning meeting, I was not able to go. I had to work, so I want to thank Matt for texting me and keeping me up to date on everything. But we here at the City Council, we do care. We are looking at everything. We are watching everything that's going on. So I just want residents to know that, because some of the posts I read, I just want them to know that we do care, and we are watching everything and investigating on the data center. So that's all I have to say, and everybody have a good night.
Thank you. Mr. Valerius?
I want to start by congratulating Chris Eistrold and Michael Laughlin for their years of service to Allen Park. And also wanted to, is it Oslowski? I'm sorry? I'm sorry. I hear you. I'm a Allen Park resident who's dealt with blight on both sides of my house for years as well. I know the frustration. I sense it in your voice, and I'm sorry that you're going through that. I really do. So, I'm going to be a little longer-winded tonight than I usually am, so just bear with me. So again, here we go. So when I ran for council in 2019, I knew that I would face public scrutiny and receive nasty emails and messages and be roasted on social media, basically regardless of any way I voted on any resolution that comes before this body. That comes with the elected position. I get it, okay, I really do. I also get that some people are two-faced and will smile and talk nice to you 1 minute and then make blatant allegations and refer to you slanderously as, quote, one of the mayor's 2 best councilmen, end quote, for simply serving on multiple committees. The accusations that I'm receiving kickbacks and payoffs from multiple companies for my votes while sitting up here is beyond ridiculous, especially considering when I ran for council in 2019 and again in 2023, I filed a waiver with Wayne County stating I would not raise nor take donations that exceed $1,000, and I never have. I paid for my campaign signs out of pocket, held no fundraising dinners or events, sent out 0 mailers, and only received 1 check from an anonymous supporter for $100 that I would have returned if a return address was on the envelope. And I still managed to get elected, not once, but twice. Let's address some other ridiculous accusations. No, I've never signed or seen an NDA since serving on council, and I could care less about having my name on some stupid plaque on some city building or park. I may cut some heat for stating this, but I don't care. No, I do not support the data center development proposal. My wife and I have lived in our house on Russell Street for 28 years, and our house happens to be a block and a half, 1 park, 1 set of railroad tracks, and a creek away from where the data center will go. So no, I don't support it. I was a resident long before I became a council member. I've said this before and I'm going to say it again. Social media is a tool for people to spew negativity and hate. Keyboard warriors too afraid to publicly speak their minds use social media to attack others and make false accusations on just about anything they care to type about. I try to respond to posts and answer questions by residents with truthful and factual information. If I don't know an answer to a question posed to me, I don't blow smoke or lie. I try to research or find a truthful answer I could share. I'm sorry to those who want to believe that I'm something more than a 28-year resident who cares enough about the city that him and his family calls home to serve in this role since 2019. There's nothing I can do to convince or change your mind that the $400 a month I receive as a city council person is a small portion of the supposed kickbacks and payoffs that I have supposedly received. Man, that sure would have helped my wife and I pay our $5,000 tax bill this year. So to all those keyboard warriors out there, keep posting your negativity and hate. Keep making your false accusations. I'll just continue trying to do my best for Allen Park residents. Remember, I'm term limited out of my seat here in November of 27. Why not step out from behind your keyboard, get up off your ass, and try serving your city instead of tearing it down? With that, I yield.
Thank you. Mr. Barr.
Thank you, Matt. That is from the heart. I am the same way you are. Well, basically, everything that I've written down, has already been said. Just to let you know, I have seen the street sweepers out in the last 2 weeks, which I'm glad. Also, it's coming to that point of the year where you're going to see a lot of motorcycles. I've already know of one accident that was a fatality. It was a fellow classmate of mine. So, other than that, thank you to everybody who came up. I yield.
Thank you, Gerald. Very sorry about that. Mr. Schlack.
I'll be quick. Condolences to the Bodell and Geis family for their losses. I want to thank everyone that came up for public comment. I want to say well said by Mayor Pro Tem Nick and Councilman Valaris about the status of the data center in front of the Planning Commission. And I want to say anyone that celebrates St. Patrick's Day, celebrate it safely on the holiday, and also those that go down to Detroit for the parade. And with that, I yield. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Lloyd.
I wanna thank Matt for his comments. I've had the good fortune of serving up here with him for just about 7 years now, and I can't imagine a more honorable and truthful and earnestly civically minded human beings. And it's something that it's a quote sometimes. It's from the trial of Socrates. When I'm having a particularly bad day of city council, it's the quote that Socrates says, "For a man that strives earnestly for justice to live at peace for at least a short time should take no part in public life." And if you don't know what they did to Socrates, they made him drink hemlock poison after that. And it's something that, you know, when I come home and I say that line, and my wife's like, "Oh, it's been one of those days." It is a very challenging job, but it is absolutely necessary. And I say it to all my fellow elected officials up here, with the people that I have the privilege of serving on the Planning Commission. People come in and they do this genuinely because they care for this community and they want to do their best to make this a better place to live. And I'm with Matt wholeheartedly in this. Sometimes people are going to disagree with us, but I truly believe, and I've said this time and time again from this dais, is that I think that one thing that I truly think is unifying is that even every person that I've disagreed with, every dispute I've had over Allen Park City politics or whatever it may be, I genuinely believe that everybody earnestly wants what's best for the city of Allen Park, and we very well may differ on the way that we go about that. But it's just absolutely, I'm so appreciative of people that take the time and the energy to commit to making this a better place to live. Because, you know, hopefully, you know, I said this last time we were talking about the plaza, I plan on aging in this community. I'm raising my son in this community. And I truly believe that human beings are not just a product of their parents, they're products of the communities that they're raised in. It's not just the people that you live with, but it's the neighbors that are walking down the streets, the teachers in the buildings, it's the friends that they make, and it takes an entire community to make a human being. So I'm so appreciative of Matt and his comments. This is truly a thankless job, and well, no, sometimes we get thanked, and I do appreciate that, but no one does it for that. So thank you, Matt. I will say this, and I do appreciate everyone's comments, and this is worth saying. So the next Planning Commission meeting, I'm just going to say it up here. I'm not going to talk about any specifics of it because I don't want to go into that. It does happen to coincide with my spring break, and so rarely do I have an opportunity to take vacations with my family. I've had this a vacation plan for 6 months, and so I will be out of town for the next Planning Commission meeting. It is quite possible that plans won't be ready by that time, that things will be delayed, but I do want to say that, like, because I know what people will say if I'm not there, that I'm not there for blah, blah, blah reason. This is something that I have been planning for a very long time. My wife coaches in the summer, so this week and like maybe 2 weeks in August are very few times that we get to take vacations as a family, and it just so happens to coincide with this Planning Commission meeting. So I do want people to know that. I will probably say that from up here again at our next council meeting, and I'll tell people that. And I apologize for that. It's very important work, but my number one priority is my family. So thank you so much for everything.
Thank you. Mr. Wurzbacher.
My condolences go out to the Geist family and the Bodell family. In fact, I ran into Mike Bodell today. And, you know, Mike is always an upbeat guy, but one look at him and that glimmer in his eye that you see at the music in the streets or when he's DJing at the car show, you know, it's knocked the wind out of his sails. So my thoughts and prayers go out to both those families. Gentleman from Hanover, I get it. I've lived next door to Blight. I've lived across the street from Blight, and there's nothing more aggravating and frustrating. Many, many people put a lot of efforts into the upkeep of their homes, okay? And when you get somebody that just does not care, I don't get it. I've stated many times myself, I don't understand how someone can drive through a subdivision and on their way to look at a house and say, wow, these streets are clean, these homes are neat as pins, and move in and turn it into a junkyard. I don't get it. I would also kind of like to touch base a little bit on what Matt said and what Dan Lloyd alluded to. I knew anytime you get in any kind of leadership role, you're gonna take a verbal beating, okay? Well, my skin is thick. It does not affect me. But when it does affect me is when people outrightly go after unpaid volunteers in this community with their comments and calling them idiots repeatedly on social media, then I become a different person. I don't tolerate it. None of us should tolerate it. And anybody out here that clicks like on their buttons and builds on their comments, shame on you. It's disgusting. We have a hard enough time now trying to get volunteer in positions in community organizations, let alone commissions on the city. Heaven forbid that you want to slam somebody for stepping up and trying to make the community better. My attitude is, if you don't like it, leave. With that, I yield.
Thank you, Ed. I've got a few closing. I know that the data center is on everybody's minds and everybody wants an opinion. And as I have stated before, this is something that's before the Planning Commission. We have a very efficient and effective Planning Commission. This is under their purview. There are still a lot of items that are coming in on the data center. There are things that seem to change from meeting to meeting. I, quite frankly, am ambivalent on it, and I am trusting in the process and the people who are on the Planning Commission. Mr. Lloyd is on the commission because by state law, it states that a council person sits on the Planning Commission. State law also indicates that a council person sits on the Zoning Board of Appeals. I went to one of the meetings. I do not intend to go to any others because I do not want to give any perception that I am trying to influence in one way or another anyone on that Planning Commission. Again, I am going to allow them to go through their process and see where it falls. There was also an article in the news today that the state is looking at data centers across the state. I think I mentioned this several meetings ago, that this is an issue that needs to be addressed by the state. It is not something that should be put before every township, village, and city to decide how they are going to handle this. This is akin to when cable franchises came in and the state finally stepped up and did something because it was all over the map. So there's a lot of changes that may occur going forward, but at this point, I am relying on the Planning Commission to do their job and their due diligence and ask the right questions, and I think they have done that so far. It's rather interesting, the comments that were made by some council people, because I try to avoid looking at some of the comments that are posted because, well, I do not deal with people who lie well at all. And I know that some of the individuals up here have seen out-and-out lies posted. And I'm hoping that people who read those lies realize that they're being lied to. But I very rarely create closing comments, but something struck me recently, and it's kind of applies to this. As part of his Lenten message for 2026, Pope Leo XIV made this invitation at the heart of his message. I would like to invite you to a very practical and frequently unappreciated form of abstinence, that of refraining from words that offend and hurt our neighbor. Let us begin by disarming our language, avoiding harsh words and rash judgment, refraining from slander and speaking ill of those who are not present and cannot defend themselves, he said. Instead, let us strive to measure our words and cultivate kindness and respect in our families, among our friends, at work, on social media, in political debates, in the media, and in Christian communities. If we do so, we will let words of hatred give way to words of hope and peace. And because we almost overlooked it, and we seem to focus, the women's wrestling team went to the state finals this weekend. That team is coached by Mr. Lloyd. We had 3 individuals who qualified for states. I think they made history in doing so. The event took place Friday and Saturday at Ford Field. I attended all events because somehow I've got a place here for that group of individuals. The girls team placed 6 overall as a team with the smallest group of individuals participating, so that's something to be proud of. Of the 3 participants, 1 individual came in 3rd in her weight class, and the other one was the state runner-up in her weight class, which was quite an achievement. And if you get an opportunity, I'm sure it's been posted on one of the Facebook pages, but the woman who came in, and I'll say this young woman because both of these are seniors, who came in 3rd, had the opportunity to sing the national anthem before the start of Saturday's event. And I will tell you, if you want to hear a beautiful voice, listen to Maya Brandenburg sing the national anthem, because that young lady has got a fantastic voice. And it was a pleasure being there, and a wonderful group of people. And thank you, Dan. And with that, I will ask for a motion to adjourn. Motion by Mr. Wurtzbacher, second by Mr. Valerius. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. We are adjourned at 6:48 p.m.